Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is GullYY here. Today I got something spicy for you. We got the Polytuber Battle Royale. Oh man, it's gonna be epic. I got the footage right here. Basically, I'm gonna let it play, and I'll pause every now and again, and I'll give my thoughts on my plays, good plays, bad plays, whatever plays. And yeah, should be pretty epic, so let's get rolling. So, I first gotta say that I'm pretty sure we just banned Luxador. I can't actually remember. And I happen to be one of the last picks, so I'm left with the options of Imperius or Kiku. So I contemplate Kiku. I'm like, well, Kiku's pretty spicy. But since we're going to be kind of cramped on this map, I don't want to risk picking Kiku and just getting yeeted on like turn 5 by somebody doing a competent rider rush or something. Because Kiku isn't exactly the strongest in the early game. So I go ahead and take Imperius. So let's go ahead and see our spawn. We can level our capital on turn 0 because we got 2 fruit, so that's pretty spicy. But yeah, we go ahead, we take an explorer. That reveals a village and also Chinchi. And we see they have a very spicy whale spawn, which is kinda dumb, but okay, whatever. Now I decide that Chinchi looks like they're going to move on to the mountains, so that means I will be able to get to this village before them. They also didn't train another warrior, so that's good for us. And we see there they slurp up all those whales and train another warrior. So they're rolling in the dough right now. That ain't too good for us, so I'm just going to focus on getting that village and training more warriors. And that'll basically help hold us over for a little bit while we can get our economy set up. We see they're in first place because of that whale boost. And yeah. Here we see a Mooney pop in. We got Cade the Frogger in the house. Oh man. They give us hunting. So it's looking like we're going to have to go the forestry route if we want to level up our capital. So we move on to that village. And unless Chinchi grabs roads and kills my warrior, we're going to be able to take it. So I move my second warrior south, and then I think I train a third one. Yep, there he goes. We also notice that we have a whole ton of mountains around our place, which is kind of spicy. Now at this point I'm considering climbing, but I know that if I capture that village my tech cost is going to increase, so I'm pretty sure I pick up forestry right here. I also didn't point this out, but we have Zabasi to our north, so we do need to be a lookout for them. I actually don't remember what date this game was recorded. I know it was a while back though, so I wasn't as good as I am now. Now I should also be concerned about Cade's Mooney because they can just freeze my warrior while it's taking that city. Or I should say while it's on that city. And then he can just pelt it with warriors while I can't really do anything about it. But yeah, I go ahead, grab forestry, take that city, and we pass our turn. So Polaris moves their Mooney back, and Chinchi pushes a bit more forward with their warriors, doing a bit of exploring, a bit of being spicy. Now this is actually, I actually would have done something different here. So we see I have 4 stars. What would have been smart is to just chop a forest in this city here, and then with that level up our capital, get resources, and then level up this city down here. So me not doing that puts us back a couple of turns. Now it is also important to note, we're pretty much, and maybe not pretty much, but we're kind of in the middle of the map here. So we're going to be getting hit from a couple of sides. So we see Zabasi go ahead and move on to that unclaimed village. We get farming from them, and here I make another misplay. For some reason, I train another warrior on my capital before I level it up, which is like, that's like one of the dumbest plays in the book. Like, I couldn't explain why I did that. I don't know if I was just nervous or flustered, because I'm realizing we also see that Zabasi border in the north. Things are going to get rough, and I, of course, don't help my case by leveling up my capital before training a warrior. Yeah, we see it right there. Big brain plays. I need a drink of my cranberry juice, man. So Zabasi gets that unclaimed village, levels it up for a workshop, and Chin-Chi's just exploring, which I don't really like that much. So now I finally decided to level up my capital. Good job, GullYY, you got there eventually. And then we see that Zabasi also has an unclaimed village they're going for down there, which is not good for me at all. So now I'm kind of weighing my options here. Should I go for riders and try and do some sick maneuvering there, or do I want to try and go archers? I think what would have been smart here is to not even worry about climbing and just go straight for archers on my capital. That would have let us do a bit of finessing on Zabasi, and I think that could have allowed us to at least get a better foothold in the area. Yeah. Now go ahead and attack his warrior that's claiming that village. Chin-Chi is attacking Polaris, and Zabasi is starting the warrior spam. I'm basically still just chilling here. Turn 7, everyone is still in the game. Now I'd really like to level up that East City, but in order to do that I'm going to need either mathematics or roads, which frankly I don't have the stars for either. Now here I noticed that Chin-Chi kind of has their warriors pretty spread out, so I decided to go onto the attack. We see they have swordsmen. So yeah, I'm kind of just vibing right now. Looking at this now, I am thinking archery would have been smart. Here's something else that's interesting. Let's see if I can get a good angle on it. We see this fish down here, and there's fish here. And I also believe there's a fish tile under the menu button that we can't see right now. But this confirms that there has to be a village on this tile right here. If you didn't know, resources have to spawn potentially in the borders of other cities. So like the reason there's fruit here is if I got border growth on my capital I'd be able to get it. But the only tile that could have a village on it that could also get border growth to get this fish would have to be right here. Because you get the village and then its border is here and then you level up and get border growth. And that would encapsulate that fish. So Chin-Chi's training their swordsmen. I'm kind of getting scared because they're getting kind of chonky. I'm considering my options again. Chivalry maybe for the warrior spam. That's such a big investment though. Now here I'm kind of planning out how I want to get my first giant, because maybe I can use that and just throw it into Zabasi and just, you know, try and walk into the cities with that big boy. Let me do some math real quick. Now because I trained that warrior, this is another mistake. Because I trained that warrior, I'm gonna be 1 star short of being able to get a giant on my capital next turn. It would have been smarter to not train that warrior, and next turn just get the giant. Of course I can still get it if I just chop a tree, but nah. We still see that everyone's alive and vibing. Now we go ahead and see that a city is getting sieged to our south. Presumably that's Polaris. Whether that's their capital or not, we don't know yet. Now I know that I'm no match for these swordsmen really, at least from an economic standpoint. I can't just throw warriors into them and expect to win. So I'm still kind of weighing my options here. And I'm kind of coming up empty-handed. Those whales really gave Chin-Chi a boost. And that's rough to deal with. I guess I decided not to go for a giant this turn, which is kind of funny. And there we see Imo come in on the boat. That was of course Imo Gaming, who has since deleted their channel, which is big sad. Also, you might notice that Martin Leong is not in this. That's because he didn't have any of the paid tribes, even though he said he would participate. Which, kind of a bruh moment, but whatever. Now we see that Polaris has lost their capital, but they're not out of the game yet, so they still have another city. And I'm just kind of sparring with Zabasi here, trying to get them further away from my capital. They're kind of scaring me. I know there's just warriors, but that really puts pressure on my economy. I can't spend all my stars on leveling up cities and developing them. Of course, I only have 2 to develop, but... Now this turn, I do decide to go for the giant. So giant on turn 10, that's not the greatest. Then we get our Metropolis Monument, and I can level up our East City with that. I don't remember if I get a city wall or not. I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, there it is. Normally, I do not go for city walls, but this is one of those occasions. Now we see that Zabasi has catapults, which is definitely not going to help us any. Chinchi's rolling in with the swordsman. Not very epic. But that's the game. That's just how the game is. I should also mention we all agreed to no alliances, but of course there are just going to be natural peace treaties. I shouldn't say peace treaties. Non-aggression pacts between people. Just because they're busy dealing with other people. See that one tribe actually has more score than Chinchi, but Chinchi has more capital, so they're ahead. That's probably Polaris' second city right there. And we see Zabasi actually sticking it to Chinchi right here, which is interesting. And there we see a Yadak boat move onto that ruins. And there is Polytopia Gaming. They are vibing. We get sailing from them, which, I mean, is great, I guess. We can't really use it. Now I'm basically just marching closer and closer to Zabasi, trying to get my giant in there to siege that city. Because if I can get that, that'll give me a nice foothold in the area. And we see that Cade has been destroyed. The first blood. F in the chat. We're definitely not in the best position. I go ahead and grab riding, train a rider, and hopefully we'll be able to vibe on Zabasi. And there we see Quetzali roll in, that is spacebar. Our giant's getting pelted with catapults, which sucks. There he is, we get archery from him, which that's going to help us. And we see that Zabasi decides to go for a city wall in that city, so they're feeling some pressure. And right here I'm thinking how we're going to get that rider to hit that catapult. I may grab roads, I don't remember. Looks like I do. I chop that forest, and then that second road wasn't necessary. Not sure why I built that. But here we see kind of a gamer play, not gonna lie. Ah, that's why I built the second road. Yeah, so we reveal another city of his, which has a catapult on it, and we siege his westmost city. Now that catapult's just going to kill my warrior, which sucks. But I do have a rider next to it. I then chop so I can train another rider. Our rider gets yeeted, and Zabasi's pushing forward. So by now we got a lot of people getting on the water, and I'm still stuck on land. I do have sailing from Polytopia Gaming, but it's not very viable right now. So now I'm just trying to push back Zabasi a little bit. We get our killer monument, which is nice. But it doesn't really give us another giant, per se. Because we'd have to both build the killer monuments, build a port, and then connect our eastmost city with our capital. I decide to go ahead and tap that defender with my giant, because he's just going to kill it anyway. And I end my turn. We do see some flames going on down there, which is kind of interesting. And we see that Yadak is getting really close to our capital there. But unfortunately, there's not really a lot we can do about it right now. So right now, Chin-Chi and I are actually getting pressured pretty hard. We got Imo and Quetzali hitting Chin-Chi, and then we have Zubasi and Yadak hitting us. I'm basically just trying to take care of his catapults right now. That giant is going to be a problem as well, but we don't really have a solution for it. See that Yadak is handing it to us. Siege is our capital. So it's a good thing I saved that monument, because I'm going to have to use it here. We have just enough stars to push a giant here. We see Spacebars also now attacking us. Zubasi has a giant right next to our East City. I'm not exactly sure when it happens, but at one point, Spacebar straight up loses his phone. And so we have to kick him from the game. We gave him like 5 days to find it. But, yeah, that kind of stinks, but... He was winning, but then he got yeeted. And the winner is the last human opponent, not necessarily the last bot. You see him just kind of throwing units into this giant, doing whatever I can to it. Zubasi's pushing forward more. Yadak's doing some exploring. We see Quetzali over there. Yeah, we see Spacebar as a bot. So I start getting some boats up a little bit, just as a bit of buffer between me and Yadak. Go ahead and attack his giant, because giants have 5 attack and 4 defense, so it's better to attack with them. Assuming you're attacking with more health, or you know what I mean, you get what I'm saying. Imo's going in with the boats. Zubasi's rolling in with the catapults. And Yadak rolls in with a giant battleship, which should scare Zubasi a little bit. So I go ahead and take down his giant, which is pretty epic. It's raining rocks on our heads, which is not very epic. Yadak is vibing right now. Now our capital is pretty vulnerable to Yadak right now. Since we have a water tile right next to our capital, he can just zoom a boat right on into our city on the same turn as he moves. You know what I mean, fellas. So we do need to be conscious of that. I also want to get our giant back, just to protect it from Zubasi's catapults. And I'm considering navigation, just to try and get a battleship up and help protect me a little bit from Yadak, but it's not really going to matter. We see his catapult there is at 2 out of 3 kills, which is kind of scary. I don't really want him to promote it, because it's at 1 health. Zubasi gets a giant out, and everyone's yeeting each other. And I'm just sitting here like, dear Lord, don't hurt me. I want to recover a giant. I want to try and get back up to full health, if possible. That'd be pretty nice. But it's not going to happen. I zoom our defender in just to try and get Zubasi to scoot his catapults back. Or at least keep him stationary for a turn. Yadak has a defender right next to our capital, which is of course scary, because if he just kills my defender, he can just scoot that defender right on there, and I won't be able to do anything about it. I decided to just upgrade that boat as a bit more of a buffer, and I end my turn. I don't end my turn. Maybe I grab navigation. I do decide to grab navigation, which is weird. I don't know why I wouldn't have just grabbed it next turn, because I can't use it this turn. I don't know. Kind of odd. Kind of odd. Yadak's coming in with the boats. Not a fun time all around. I need more cranberry juice. You guys like cranberry juice? I like cranberry juice. Now, this game has been long over by now, but as far as I know, Cade's the only other person who has decided to upload their footage. I'm not sure if the other gamers are going to upload their footage, but, you know, I put out a video saying that this is going to happen. It'd be kind of weird for me to just not upload it, you know? So I was like, why not? We see here Zabasi gets really close to sieging my city, but we managed to barely hold off with 1 HP on our defender. Yadak is vibing. They're going to go ahead and siege our city, but I believe we have the boat power and that one archer in order to save us. Never mind. So yeah, Chinchi walks in, sieges that city. Yadak's sieging our other city. We don't have the boat power to take out that defender. I should have had my giant by my capital, but I did not because I'm silly. But yeah, this will be my last-ditch effort in order to survive another turn. Basically, my entire job this game was to just impede people's expansion. But yeah, that's just how it is sometimes. So yeah, we go ahead and end our turn. And of course, next turn, we get yeeted. And that is the game. Who ended up winning? I don't know. If they decide to upload their gameplay, you will know. But if they don't, I can just tell you. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Polytuber Battle Royale. Pretty dang spicy. I enjoyed it a lot. I'll link all the other gamers' YouTube channels in the description. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe for more epic Polytopia gameplay. Let me know if you want more of these games where I like record the game and then put all the footage together and then commentate over it. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a spectacular day.